And I really haven't spent much time outside of the additive space, but it also seems that over the last kind of 10 years, especially, a lot of these challenges that from a material side and even the process side require collaboration between the end users, between the materials manufacturer, academia in many cases, as well as the machine manufacturer, because all of this is kind of, we're all learning as we go. We're trying to fit some of these applications into the right machines and right technologies. And how have you seen kind of the industry evolve along that front in terms of kind of you're in kind of on the industry side now, but you spent a lot of time in academia. Kind of how are those relationships been evolving over the last few years?
Yeah, I think it's evolving in a right direction. Maybe I like to see in a higher rate, right? That kind of evolves, right? But there are consortiums and groups that are formed with the universities and industry, partnering together. And I think everyone now kind of realizing what you just said about you need to have an ecosystem to address the challenges of this technology. It's not just about the machine, it's not just about the process, not just about design, not just about material. You have to have pretty much like everyone in the room. Now you need to have an application. I think that is the most important thing. You need to have a right application in mind. And the right application is really coming from a need. What kind of need do we have right now? And what are the challenges we're facing? We're probably facing a challenge of, much better thermal management. We're probably, facing a challenge of higher temperature applications, right? Getting into hypersonics and things like that. We are facing challenges of how we can do much more, lightweighting, right? So yeah, there is, if you look at from different angles, coming from like a mechanical engineer, industrial engineer, process folks, manufacturing, material. I mean, everyone has kind of a solution based on their background, right? But you just say material, oh well, yeah, higher temperature, so we go with the high temperature materials that are available. You just look at your HP chart and diagram and see that what material. But that's very narrow thinking. And usually it ends up not being successful because it's again ecosystem. You have to look at the design, you have to have manufacturability, you need the right machines for that, and process development. Okay, where do you actually go and source the material, right? A lot of things in the material development, we are dealing with kind of old school materials. Still, we are dealing with old school materials. I was saying this, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we're still in the same place, right? We have moved forward, but still the majority of the materials developed not for additive manufacturing. They're considering the AM, especially in powder bed and the requirements and boundary conditions. But yeah, I mean, I see a lot of good movements with all these consortiums that has been developed again in the US mainly, but also in Europe and other part of the world.